This time next week, we will be less than half an hour away from the polls closing in a major primary election right here in Ohio. The governor's seat is up for grabs, with incumbent John Kasich reaching his term limit. And voters get to decide whether or not to reform how we draw the borders of congressional districts. Very important. Chris Ty joins me once again. Nice shot of you, Chris.
Thank you,
and look who is back with us tonight.
Sight for sore eyes.
Big round of applause and a thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Tom Beres is back in studio with us. Where do you want to start? Let's start at the governor, though, okay?
Yes, sir.
I guess I'll choose where we start. All right, let's start at the governor, okay? Mike DeWine, if he wins the whole thing, if he gets to the final, which I think a lot of people expect.
Seems the most likely outcome
and becomes Ohio's governor. Let me go to my sports background. Has he not hit for the cycle in the state of Ohio? I mean, he's been everything.
He's been on the ballot in 5 different decades.
Wow.
He was a county prosecutor, a state lawmaker, lieutenant governor, senator, attorney general. I may not have them all in the appropriate order, but
sure.
Yeah. And so at age 71, and some people, well, should that be an issue here? He claimed I'm as energetic as ever, but he will take on probably the most taxing, demanding job of all that he's held, if he wins.
And because we're smarter when Tom is in the newsroom, he is the kind of guy who we're waiting this weekend, right, Tom, to see whether or not Donald Trump says, I'm also a DeWine guy.
Well, there's no advance word on it, but I would not be startled to see some sort of a Donald Trump announcement on his visit to Cleveland to talk up the tax package, but it appears DeWine is front runner, likely winner. The president would like to endorse a winner, I am sure. And both candidates, though, trying to be as Trumpy as they can in their messages.
All right, Mary Taylor over on the other side. All right, Kate, tell me this. Who does he face? Who do you think he faces in the final?
Well, at the moment, it appears Richard Cordray, and there's another poll coming out. There haven't been a lot of polls during this campaign. There's another Bottle Walls poll coming out later this week, which should give us a better idea. Cordray has been the presumed front runner all along, but looking over his shoulder, I think, at Dennis Kucinich, who was making headway until all of the revelations about the speaking fees from an organization that was connected to an organization that was sympathetic to President Assad in Syria and all the issues that raises. Of course, the Kucinich campaign saying, well, this is an international issue. People of Ohio don't care about that.
And Dennis would say he's not dead yet. He never admits defeat, even certainly
you never want to sell him short. And he is obviously the most energetic and most exciting candidate of the two.
Tom, tell me this a little bit about Cordray. I mean, he's really come out, and his connection with President Obama seems to be his major theme. I mean, hey, Ohio, you like the president, Barack Obama. You gave him the state.
You voted for him twice, yes.
And I was right there with him. Choose me, right?
Well, that's his plan. But again, we get into sort of an issue of, well, you know, he's run against Mike DeWine before and lost for attorney general. He had other efforts to be attorney general and a congressman and a senator and lost.
Right.
So his electoral record maybe not all that impressive.
We're getting a lot of talk about these names, but there's also this issue that's going to be on the ballot.
Very important. Issue 1, what they call boring but important.
All right. And this is redistricting, right?
Congressional redistricting, and I call this sort of a political pigs are flying moment. What happened here was bipartisan, Democrats, Republicans got together to tackle a complex issue, came up with yes, it's complicated plan, but it's much better than the gerrymandered system we have now, which has theoretically you would have 8 Democrats and 8 Republicans in a swing state. Right now you've got 11 Republicans, 4 Democrats, and one empty seat around Columbus there. But look, all the red territory is Republican territory, blue territory, Democratic districts. This new measure, it would prevent carving, it would set limits on carving up cities and counties. I mean, Akron has 4 Congress members. There's that snake in the lake district that goes from Cleveland to Toledo. There'd be limits put on that.
What is another interesting race that you're looking at?
Well, jumping ahead to the likely Sherrod Brown-Jim Renacci race.
Wow, okay.
You know, Sherrod Brown is kind of the last Democrat standing at the moment. And I'm sure the Republicans are going to put an awful lot of energy and firepower, and I'm sure we're going to get some Sherrod Brown bashing on President Trump's trip this weekend.
Was there any problem with Renacci gaining momentum in this race because he jumped races, right?
Well, he did, but the president and the president's people urged him to get in, so he's got the automatic Trump backing, and he does have the benefit of being a higher profile former congressman, and Mike Gibbons, candidate running against him. But again, I think the Trump factor is going to be in Renese's favor.
And I know the national media is watching Ohio. How we go next week, what kind of Democrat we pick, what kind of Republican we pick, how does the Trump effect trickle down, might be an indicator for the rest of the country.
Sets the table for November, yes.
Does the president, where do they feel? Does he have coattails that you can grab onto right now?
Well, the whole Republican Party has been reinvented since he took it over here. So the old John Kasich Republican Party, and John Kasich is the Rodney Dangerfield of this election. Nobody wants anything to do with him.
No respect, no attention.
There you go. There you go.
Right.
Tom, you haven't missed a step.
Oh,
it's
okay.
great having you back. Always great to have you back.
All right.
You're going to be with us next week.
That's what they tell me.
All right.
All right.
We'll have the bunting up. The flags will all be here.
Looking forward to it, yes. Full dress.
And the pizza's on me.